Why isn't there the same kind of outrage, let me ask you, in the black community when rappers and other people in the black community, athletes in the black community, defame and demean black women?
I am one of them
call
that
them worse
is
names than I
outraged.
ever did.
Another clip there of Don Imus from his appearance on Al Sharpton's radio show today. We now continue with Dr. Marc Lamont Hill. Armstrong Williams works with my friends over there at WWRL in New York, and Patrice O'Neal. Armstrong, you know, he apologized. He's contrite. Did he say the right things, or was the apology, in your view, worse than what he initially said, as was suggested earlier here tonight?
Well, you know, the guy's in a state of shock. He did not expect this. He's done this for so long. And another thing about Don Imus, you know, I can never forget during the time of Hurricane Katrina that he was one of the few people who had a national audience in this country who spoke out and said, what is wrong with America? Why are they singling out these people for this kind of treatment and this kind of neglect? He said, there's only one conclusion that I can come to is the fact that they have black faces, and this is not right. This is not who America is. And I got to tell you, I can't forget that. You can be outraged with him, and you should be outraged with him, but you got to take the man's life in balance. He's one of the few people who brought attention to the plight of those people in New Orleans, and they happen to be black. I mean, so it's easy to make someone out to be a racist. What he said was very racist, was very bigoted, but I look at the whole Don Imus, and he's done some good. We should be outraged. NBC and CBS did what they had to do,
And
but
Dr.
still,
Hill, shouldn't we look at what's in somebody's heart and what their true intent is, and truly what they've done? He's got a camp. He helps kids. 10% of the kids at his camp are black. I mean, you want to end the man's career over this comment?
I don't want to end his career. I don't want him on the street. I simply don't want him to have this particular job.
What job
I'm sure
can he
he'll
have?
land on his feet.
What job can he have?
That's not my concern. What I'm saying is that this particular post that he has, let me finish this point. He made this point. He used his job irresponsibly, and he should be fired for it. Well, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he should never work again. If someone wants to hire him, that's their prerogative.
Then you'll pick at the next guy that he works for, the next person he works for. Patrice, I mean,
I'm just saying. I know funny, and I know if he had said nappy-headed athletes.
That would have been okay?
Nappy-headed young women.
Why is that okay?
No, it's not okay if he had said that.
We'd be just as offended.
Nappy-headed athlete would have been, is he using an adjective? I don't get that. Yeah. But to say nappy-headed hoe is so ridiculous, you know he was trying to be funny.
Well, that's
you know it.
I mean, you heard the tone of voice. He was laughing. I mean, he didn't intend to hurt, and he realizes he was wrong. Armstrong, he knows he made a mistake, and as you said earlier, you know, the free marketplace can decide whether or not this helps him or hurts him. Just pulling him off the air, stop other people from ever going over the line, which anybody in broadcast can do any moment of any day when you're in front of a live mic all the time.
But the problem is, people cross the line every day. Anybody else other than people who have huge audiences and names could have said this, and they could have been of a different hue, and nothing would have been said. It would have not even made the radar screen. It's because of what Don Imus represents, and he just happens to be a white man in America. And they're the individuals in this country that cannot use racism in any form, in any kind of way. It's a double standard. And look,
hang on a second.
I don't want you to misinterpret my trying to defend him, but there is a double standard here.
Dr. Hill, I want to ask you this question. You want him fired from this job?
Absolutely.
All right. We know the history. The two people that are leading the effort now against Don Imus are the Reverend Jackson and the Reverend Al Sharpton. Now, we know in the case of the Reverend Jackson, we know his comments about Jews in New York. We know his admission about the treatment of food of certain customers when he used to, work at a restaurant. We know the white interloper comments of Al Sharpton. We know Al Sharpton said if the Jews want to get it on, tell them to pin their yarmulkes back and come on over to my house. Have you ever asked for their firing?
Firing from what? In 1988, when Reverend Jackson made the comment about Hannity, he paid dearly for it. He also apologized.
I didn't ask you that. I asked, sir. Wait, Dr. Hill.
No, you're saying fired. Fired from what?
Do you think they deserve to be on the national scene leading the effort against Don Imus, considering their background?
Okay, that's a different question. Absolutely. Absolutely. This particular... I think
Doctor, do you see what he's trying to do? That's what they do. He's trying to make us hypocrites. That's what I'm saying.
It's not about hypocrisy. It's about challenging someone who clearly spoke out in racist and sexist fashion. The issue here isn't Reverend Jackson, nor is it Reverend Sharpton. The person who should be under scrutiny here is Don Imus.
No. The people leading the effort. No. Here's the difference. If you're saying he should be fired, why shouldn't they be? Why shouldn't they, in your mind, be in the same category? If you can explain that to our audience, I'm all ears.
The same category as what? They have both paid dearly for comments that they've made that they've regretted when they've made them.
They're still out there protesting,
absolutely.
and they're still in the media. Nothing happened to them. There's been no impact negatively on their careers.
That's absolutely the same.
What do you want? You want to jump? Go ahead.
Because I see what you're doing.
What am I doing?
Because the seriousness of the doctor is what the down. He's so. It's the fact is
You're saying the doctor's a hypocrite?
No,
not a hypocrite. Tricky. But what I'm saying is
you're over here celebrating, calling people hoes, and thinking it's funny. To me, that's the critical argument.
Stop it.
That's the issue.
Stop it. You're being too serious. First of all, when was nappy-headed hoe? Wait a minute. When was nappy-headed hoe ever a term that was subjugating to black folks?
No.
Nappy-headed hoe. When? Back in the 20s? During slavery?
Look, it is offensive, and Imus says himself it's offensive. Here's my question. Hang on a second, Doc. Patrice, in all seriousness here, if this is how Imus is going to be treated, what about the people leading the charge? Is it fair? You say, well, you're trying to create this. Is there hypocrisy?
Divide and conquer. No. That's why
I'm not dividing and conquer. I'm saying
to prevent it from being that, let him say what he wants so I can say what I want.
You want everybody to say everything. You don't care.
Yes.
All right, but that's you're being, real and honest. But I'm saying, are they being hypocritical?
And sexist.
Are they being hypocritical? Hang on a second.
There's nothing hypocritical
I'm asking Patrice.
Look, man, if you tell somebody something, how to say something, and you have made mistakes in your life, I can't use hypocrite. I got to go back to the black community, Sean.
We're going to pick it up right there. Don't go away.